like I've said before, like that's one of the things that's kind of gotten me into, into the space to begin with, is looking at real estate, looking at stocks. Like, and I got buddies that are, good at picking winners in both those areas, but it's like, with all the inflation, with all of the money printing that we've gotten into the last couple of years, it's hard to look at an asset that's a ranch, a piece of property, a car, a painting, anything really that's like just a traditional asset, and feel like you're getting a good deal, right? Feel like you're actually buying something that has value, right? Like we've all heard it. Like you don't make your money when you don't make your money when you sell. You make your money when you buy. So you got to find things you can buy for $1 today and sell for 10 tomorrow, right? And I think this is one of those places, especially if you look at, if you have some idea of how the financial system works and the things that it requires to work, right? Debt, collateral, payment rails, swaps, right? Different kinds of, derivative markets, insurance, right? You start to just kind of have at least a high level of some of those things. You can then look into the crypto market and go, oh, okay, I see what XRP is doing. Okay, cool. I see what DAG is doing. I see what Flare is doing. Like, yeah, all right, I get it, right? These things make sense to me, and I can see them being used more tomorrow.
And Timo, we talked about this last time when you and I were on, about how BC Backer, man, Trent, blockchain backer, your boy, he is called the last month and a half to a T. But he's only looking at charts. And to that end, everything you were just talking about, right, Timo? The market dynamics and the catalysts and the future of technology is a freight train that's not stopping. So even if the chart dynamics and the technical analysis look like something right now, that doesn't discount the fact that 6 months from now, we're going to an area where we're going to be completely different. And the technology that's going to take us there is everything that we were talking about tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that like I wonder, and like I'm always I know I always sound kind of like negative when I say this, but like I admire guys that can do really rigorous technical analysis. Like I think it's an amazing skill that I do not have, and I think it's very, very cool, right? On the other hand, though, like my personal opinion of what I see going on is so highly, I don't want to say coordinated, but kind of planned out, where it's like, I'm not sure if we're in a space right now where it's like the human action of markets is really organic, right? I kind of feel like we're being shepherded down a certain kind of funnel
by algorithms.
Kind of, yeah. So it's like again, I love it, and fibs and different things like that. Like they can kind of cut through that noise anyway. I don't have that skill set, and I'm not trying to sound like I've got sour grapes about it. But I don't know, man. For me personally, I just kind of look at the things that I really like. I really like silver. I really like gold. I really like some of the crypto stuff, and I can see how it can be more useful and broadly deployed 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now on the other side of the Clarity Act and whatever kind of adoption race they push us through to bring in the new system. Personally, that's how I look at it. Good, bad, or otherwise, that's kind of how I run that math.
And I love it. And I think to keep it even simpler than that, if you're new time join or you're just getting into this, like we were talking about Raul earlier, he's a macro trader. And if you're a macro trader, you look at the big picture. And so looking at it completely big picture, Raul says buy the dip, right? And, one of the things I've told you guys that I kind of roll by is, when there's blood in the street, that's when you eat. And so to Timo's point and to Ryan's point, like there's so much amazing technology out there that's going to take us into newer levels that we've not been before, and it's not stopping. Decide on who you want to go with. And when you see the market go red like it is right now, don't buy the fear. Because look, that fear is coordinated. That fear is designed to do what it did today, which one of the things I was going to talk about earlier was it wiped a ton of leverage positions off the board today. Like almost $1 trillion, man. Yeah. Like wiped in the crypto market. And we talked about not leveraging, right? And I'm not going to go down that road right now. But if you don't buy into all that stuff and you buy and hold, which is Raul's number one deal is buy and hold long term because he's a macro hold, which is what we are too. Like when you see red like this, that's when you need to be buying.